Vaccine fact versus fiction. As millions still remain without the COVID-19 vaccine, some out there have doubts, some out there have major questions, some are outright refusing the vaccine. Today, we're here to answer your vaccination questions here in a live Q&A on WFLA Now. Hey folks, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now alongside Eight on Your Side investigator Masa Saidi. The last time I was on stream with Masa, we were talking about vaccine hesitancy and vaccine refusal. A lot of folks out there that still have questions about the vaccine. Some people who say it's my personal choice not to get the vaccine, but we want to make sure that as much good information is out there as possible. So we're here for you today in a Facebook live chat here on WFLA Now. We're going to be taking your questions from social media here and answering them live using the hashtags that you have here on your screen. We'll be looking for hashtag HeyMasa, hashtag HeyJB here in the Facebook Live comment section. And Masa, we have an expert joining us today with his own hashtag here as well.
Yeah, we do. But first and foremost, our special report is going to air at 6 p.m. tonight here on Channel 8. So please tune in tonight at 6 p.m. The exact time is going to be about 6:10 p.m. But stay tuned for the entire show. So yes, last time we were here, we were speaking with so many of you, hearing about all the different concerns that you had about the coronavirus vaccine. And that is really what we used to craft this report together. And I was lucky enough to meet an incredible expert with so many answers. His name is Dr. Charlie Sand. He's an emergency physician from St. Joseph's Hospital. He's also COVID advisor to Hillsborough County. He did a long talk with emergency responders about vaccine hesitancy. So this is something that he knows really well. And we did speak with Dr. Sand at length about what we know about children and the vaccine. So hi, Dr. Sand. Thank you for joining us. And what is the hashtag for him, JB?
Hashtag Dr. Sand. So if you have a question here pertaining to the COVID-19 vaccine, about vaccination, about the coronavirus, Dr. Sand is here to answer as many of your questions as possible. The only way, though, to submit a question is during the live stream itself right now using hashtag Dr. Sand. We'll be looking for hashtag Dr. Sand questions here. I'll be looking for them here in the Facebook Live comment section, Masa. So as we wait for some of those questions to file in, Dr. Sand and yourself.
Well, I will tell you first, as everyone knows, if you are 16 and older in Florida, the vaccine is available to you. As Dr. Sand will tell you, the vaccine has been approved for 16 and 17-year-olds. The Pfizer vaccine, you do have to be with a parent. You have to have some documentation. But I guess, Dr. Sand, you're a big believer in getting vaccinated. People, very smart people who I love. I got my vaccine last week, but there are plenty of people that do not want the vaccine. And the biggest reason is they say that this whole thing was rushed. Why are they wrong, Dr. Sand?
First of all, thank you for having me, JB and Masa. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. Happy to answer questions. The first question you asked, people feel it was rushed. Well, I'll tell you right now, it was rushed, but it was rushed in a very meticulous, scientific way. And the best way to explain is in normal research, which takes years, we need to find people that have the disease. In this case, we had way too much disease all over the world, plenty of people to study. And that's why we, in 3 trials, we had 100,000 people in the trials that proved the vaccine to be incredibly efficient, incredibly safe. It was gone through rigorous scientific research, and it's safe and effective. And I have the proof, and my family does too. We've all been vaccinated.
And we have a lot of questions here, folks, coming in already for Dr. Sand. The Facebook Live comment section just started lighting up. So we're going to get right into this here, folks, again with hashtag Dr. Sand here in the Facebook Live comment section. Hey, Patty Carpenter has a question for you here, Dr. Sand, saying hashtag Dr. Sand, is the vaccine FDA approved? And we got into this quite a bit in our last stream, talking about how there was the emergency approval process and how these vaccines were authorized by the FDA.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I get asked all the time. So it is not FDA approved yet. That process typically takes a year or two because they do very stringent requirements on the number of patients through the trials and watch for side effects and things like that. It did get emergency authorization. It was still through the CDC. It was still through the FDA. It still went the proper channels. I've got a national phone calls with these people. They feel very comfortable. These are safe. They are watching for side effects. We have not seen any of the major side effects we've typically seen. Most often in the first 6 weeks, we have not seen any of those that we've seen with other vaccine trials. So we feel very comfortable. It will be FDA approved, but that's a very arduous, lengthy process that will take probably at least a year, from now. So it's not that they can't FDA approve it right now. It's very rigorous requirements, but I'm comfortable, as are many, that it's safe and it's effective.
Next, we got some more questions coming in here. Masa, you want to hop in here? Or you can read Diana's question here as well here on Facebook
Okay, Diana's question for Dr. Sand is, if I had COVID and beat it, would I not have the antibodies? And if that's true, why do I need a vaccine? This is a question we get a lot. Basically, do you need the vaccine if you had COVID? Yes or no?
Yeah, another great question. The quick answer is yes, because you only get a certain amount of antibody response. And it's when you've had COVID, it's very variable. We don't know if you have minimal or a fair amount, but I can tell you right now, the 3 vaccines that are out there will give you much higher antibody protection, much higher, almost 100% preventing people from going to the hospital, being sick enough and getting admitted and getting to the ICU and dying. The vaccines do that. COVID itself may not.
When do you get it if you've had COVID? Do you wait 3 months after?
No, we used to say that, but it's now, as soon as you're done having symptoms, you don't have any more symptoms, mainly major symptoms, fever, things like that, definitely within 10 days. Personally, if I wouldn't have symptoms, I'd be comfortable getting it a day after. But I think what's going around now in the ever-changing science, you got to understand that, it's probably about 10 days after to get it, but no more 3 months. That used to be the recommendation, but like half our recommendation, it changes.
I know JB wants to get through as many questions as possible.
We got a lot of questions coming in here.
Let's go through them.
Masa, why don't you and I will take turns reading some of these questions.
Yep.
Karen Moore, you're up next. Hashtag Dr. Sand. Can you still get COVID after getting the shot?
Yeah, the quick answer is yes, you can. Now remember that at least the messenger RNAs are 95% antibody response in a healthy person. So that still leaves 5% that aren't covered. Now with that said, those 5% are still protected almost 100% not getting sick enough to go to the hospital. So that's an important concept. You can get COVID, but you know what it's like? It's like a cold. It's like a bad cold. It may put you in bed for a few days, but you know what? If it was me, that's a lot better. I work in a hospital. I wouldn't want to be in one as a patient. And that's not even talking about the long haulers, the long COVID, which I'm happy to talk about, which can be many, many months of horrible symptoms.
Again, you can use hashtag Dr. Sand here in the Facebook Live comment section while we're here live. I know many of our viewers are likely watching this after the fact. Maybe you just got home from work. Maybe you're about to get the vaccine. Maybe your appointment is coming up here soon. Again, trying to get as much good information from the experts out there as possible. The next one up here, Masa, is from Wendy.
Yeah, and as a reminder, please tune into our special report that airs tonight at Channel 8 at 6. So, Mrs. Wendy's question for Dr. Sand is, has anyone died from the vaccine?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. People have died who have gotten the vaccine, but I can tell you that number is so small compared to the number who have died from COVID. What are we at in the United States? 550,000, approaching 600,000. The number is extremely low. I think I last saw 2,000 people who have been vaccinated have died. And here's the thing. We have no idea. Well, we do have an idea. It's most likely not from the vaccine. It's likely other events that happened, whether it's a heart attack, a stroke, a car accident. Those have not been sifted out at this point, but I can tell you it's like 0.1% of people who have been vaccinated do die, but would they have died anyway? Whereas, I don't know about you, I think the dice are a lot higher with 550,000 people dying of COVID. So, again, I'd rather have a shot in the arm than be in an ICU, on a ventilator, or in a morgue.
We have a lot of questions that have come in across this live stream and the previous live stream that we did, Masa and myself, regarding the different types of vaccines. Of course, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. So Ann Axon here, hashtag Dr. Sand, is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine less effective than the others? As a reminder, the Pfizer-Moderna vaccine are across 2 shots, while the Johnson & Johnson, or the J&J, is a single shot. So what do we say here for Ann, Dr. Sand?
Yeah, so that there's the many-minute response that I'm not allowed to give you because I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version. The Cliff Note version is, no, it's not as effective an antibody response, maybe 65, 70%, whereas the messenger RNAs, Pfizer and Moderna, are maybe 95% in a normal, healthy person. But they are all nearly 100%, no broken record here, they're all nearly 100% keeping you out of the hospital and being very sick. Even Johnson & Johnson. The other thing, Johnson & Johnson, one shot, the other are two, maybe, and there are trials undergoing right now, Johnson & Johnson with two shots might get up to 95%. We don't know that answer yet. So those trials are undergoing. They may switch to two shots, but right now, the bottom line, Johnson & Johnson, one shot, and you don't go to the hospital. You don't get sick. Your family member doesn't get sick in the hospital in the ICU, and you can't visit them. Things like that. That's an important concept. They're all effective. Get what you can.
Next question we have coming up here, Masa, is from Michelle Potter.
Yeah, so guys, this is really your chance to ask whatever is on your mind, anything that might be preventing you from getting the COVID-19 vaccine. And let's see, Michelle says, Dr. Sand, if you have had the first shot and got COVID after, should I get the second shot now that I am safe now? I have had COVID with my first shot. So basically she's saying, hey, I got my first shot, then somehow I got COVID. Probably before she got the shot. Should she get the second shot? I'm guessing it's going to be similar to your answer earlier.
Yeah. The answer is yes, because you get more of an antibody response, more protection, keep you out of the hospital. Yes, they probably had COVID that week, and it manifested the usual incubation period of 5 to 7 days later. We do wait for symptoms to get better. I do want to point out, even though we have a 3 and 4 week time interval from second dose, you could probably go up to 6 weeks. I can tell you, I've heard that from Anthony Fauci himself on some of my national calls. But right now, we want people to get it as soon as possible. But the answer is yes. You want as much protection as possible.
Next question that we have coming in here, and again, check out Masa's report. Masa, when's your report air? Because I'm really curious to see it.
Okay, it is 6 o'clock tonight. I need you to tune in to Channel 8 at 6 o'clock tonight, specifically at 6:10. But again, tune in for the whole show, please.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Dr. Sand, let's get to the next one. Michelle, hey, thanks a lot again for folks joining us here on WFLNL. Hashtag Dr. Sand. You can also use hashtag Hey Masa or hashtag Hey JB. But we're really looking for those hashtag Dr. Sand questions here in the Facebook Live comment section. How about let's get to Michael Sardinas, hashtag Hey JB. Can you feel a reaction within minutes rather than 12 hours? So some questions here regarding the reaction or side effects that you might feel maybe within minutes, Dr. Sand?
Yeah, you can get something within minutes. You'll feel a little, you may feel either nothing, which I felt nothing, or you'll feel a little pinch, which is not even as bad as a bee sting. Now, the symptoms you're talking about, which are viral type symptoms, that's typically 6, 8, 12 hours later, up to 24 hours later, you'll feel viral. That is not, you're not getting COVID. There's no way you can get COVID from the vaccine, just to get rid of that myth. What you're feeling is a surge of antibody response to protect you. That is the body's way of saying, hey, I see a foreign body, I'm reacting to it to protect you, and you'll feel sick. You'll feel a little sick. You may not, I do warn people, if you're going to get the shot, especially the second shot, don't do much the next day. You know, I know my wife was in bed the next day, she just felt washed out, but didn't even have a fever. So the answer is typically 6, 12, up to 24 hours later, you will feel bad, but I think it's a lot worse to feel bad on a ventilator in the ICU.
Completely agree. Masa, our next question
point.
Coming from Cheryl here on Facebook Live.
Okay, so Cheryl's question for Dr. Sand, by the way, you can see more of Dr. Sand tonight on Channel 8 at 6. She says, should you get antibody testing before getting the vaccine? Dr. Sand?
Antigen or antibody?
Antibody, she said, but you can go ahead and quickly address the difference.
Yeah, no, because you could have had asymptomatic COVID, you'll have the antibody positive, but again, unless you check exact levels, which are very difficult to do, they're very cost prohibitive, not worth it. You don't know if your antibody is, I'm just going to make this up, 30% level or 95%. So don't even do it. Don't even worry about it. If you happen to get an antibody level because you thought you might have had COVID and you did, doesn't matter. You want to get I don't know about you, again, I want me and my family, my loved ones and friends and colleagues to be as protected as possible. Get a shot in the arm.
Cheryl, thanks a lot for your comment. Hey, Ira, you're up next here on WFLA Now, #HeyJB. When will kids of age 10 and up be able to get the shot? Is it safe for kids of a young age is what Ira is asking here. For folks, as a reminder, before we hear from Dr. Sand on that age group, talking here about kids 10 and up, 16 and 17-year-olds can get the Pfizer vaccine here in the state of Florida with parental consent or with a parent present or a guardian present. But as far as 10, maybe younger kids, 10 to, let's say, 15 years of age, what do we say here, Dr. Sand?
Yeah, my quick answer is be patient. We're going to get there. So it's 16 and 18 for the 3 vaccines. Pfizer 16, the other 2 are 18. But I can tell you just last week, a good study came out of on Pfizer of 12 to 15 years old, showed 100% were protected. And actually in the placebo group, 18 kids out of those 1,000 became COVID positive that did not have the vaccine. So I feel very comfortable down to 12. And I can tell you now, Moderna, Pfizer, maybe J&J, I'm not sure, are doing studies right now down to 6 months old. And early responses I'm getting on my national calls are the results are very positive. No side effects, very positive response. So we're going to get there. If you want a time frame to pin me down on, I think we'll be there by the school year in September. But I'll tell you, with the Pfizer data coming out and Moderna coming out with their data, I've already heard blips come out. I think we're going to be there in maybe 4th of July. But don't hold me to that. Hold me to the school year.
Can I ask a question? It's really good, JB.
Sure. Amy, you're coming up next here.
Yeah, Amy, you're coming up next. So my question, Dr. Sand, is for people that are going to get the vaccine, the first shot and the second shot, can you quickly say, is there anything we can do right before or right after to decrease the side effects? Just give us some tips quickly.
Yeah, the best answer is drink a lot of fluid and get some rest before. You're going to ache, so take Tylenol 4 hours later. Take non-steroidals like Advil, Motrin, things like that. 6 or 8 hours later, there's some animal studies that show decreased antibody surge response, especially with the non-steroidals. So the quick answer, don't take anything before, get rest, get fluids. Afterwards, wait about 3 or 4 hours, take Tylenol as directed, then wait about the 6-8 hour mark and take Advil, then take it just as directed around the clock. Put warm compresses on your arm, drink a lot of fluids, and get some rest. That's the quick and dirty answer.
But
you can go online to get that.
Okay, and then I also want to know if soup helps, because I hear that a lot. But okay, so Amy's question is it safe for pregnant women to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yeah, the official answer, I don't even know what's on the CDC anymore, is talk to your OB if it's safe. But I can tell you now, the American College of OB and all the experts and specialists are saying it's absolutely safe to get it, whether you're nursing, whether you're going to be pregnant, whether you are pregnant. Get the vaccine, because here's the bottom line. Not only is it safe, number 2, COVID is detrimental to pregnancy. It'll hurt not just one person, 2. It'll hurt the baby and the mother, potentially, and cause really bad things such as abortions and things like that. We're already seeing it. The vaccine will protect 2 people for the price of 1. So get the vaccine. It will protect during pregnancy. It is not detrimental.
Next question we have. So this is an interesting one here. It comes from T here. T, unthanked, #JB. Will J&J offer a second shot? And as a reminder, Pfizer, Moderna, 2 shots. J&J, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, was developed as a 1-shot solution here. So there's no need for a second shot. Correct, Dr. Sand?
Yeah, well, the real answer is we don't know. Right now it's 1 shot recommended, but they are doing trials. I know they're doing trials for 2 shots, because if it bumps up to 90-95%, it's going to go to 2 shot. I will also say that Pfizer and Moderna have also shown after 1 shot, I know Pfizer has gone up not to 40 or 50% where we thought. It may be as high as 80-85% protection. So we could probably go down to 1 shot with the 2-shotters, and we could probably go up from the 1-shotter to 2. That is science that's being developed. They have to do research. Right now, go with the current recommendations to be comfortable. You're not going to be sick and go to the hospital and be in the ICU.
Next up, we're going to We have Vera up next here, but Gloria, Jaden, Cascade, Wanda, we're seeing a lot of yours coming. You're up next, but next up is going to be Vera here with this comment here for Dr. Sand.
My question, I had a question. Can I ask my question really quick?
Sure.
Should we skip the second shot then? Because the second shot makes so many people so very ill. So just very quickly, should we skip it?
Well, yeah. The answer is yes. It doesn't, again, in the big picture, it doesn't make you that ill. You won't feel good for a day. I felt a little nausea that night, a little achy, took Tylenol Advil as I directed, and the next day I was fine. So everybody's different, but yes, get the second shot because you don't want to. I don't know about you. Again, 80-85% sounds pretty good, but I'd rather be at 95%.
Fine.
It just sounds like a better.
Right, but you said yes. So my yes, get the second shot. No, don't skip. Yes. Correct.
That's correct.
Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page. Vera, you're up next here with Dr. Sand.
Can a person with several autoimmune disorders get the shot? Vera wants to know, doctor.
Yeah, not only can they, that's where it's highly recommended. People that diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, kidney failure, things like that, those are the people that are going to get very sick and even die. So, yes, it's proven safe, number one. Number two, it's actually highly recommended if you have any what we'll call comorbid disease, including autoimmune. I'm on an autoimmune suppressant, and I had no hesitation getting it.
We only have 5 more minutes, so folks, this is going to be it for hashtag Dr. Sand. Yeah, everybody. Gloria Smith here, hashtag Dr. Sand. I would like to know what is of course, we say there's only 5 minutes left, and this is probably the one that's going to ignite the longest response here, but maybe you can answer this as quickly as possible, Dr. Sand, so we can get to as many of these questions as possible. Gloria, hashtag Dr. Sand, I would like to know what is so different about the COVID virus versus all other viruses in history that we have to have this shot to where it's mandatory for us at this point?
Well, number one, right now it's not mandatory. I think it should be, but it's not. That's a whole nother debate. But number two, it is a novel virus, never been seen before, where it hits both the lungs and the coagulation system, where it clots, causes heart attacks, strokes, blood clots everywhere, and it also fills the lung with fluid. We've never seen anything like this. It's just a mutation that occurred, whether you believe it's from bats or made in the lab of China. I'm not going to get into that, but it is a unique virus that none of us have ever seen. Usually these viruses do one thing. This does more than one.
All right, next up is, this is an interesting question here, Masa. It's coming from Jaden Effenberger here. Hashtag Dr. Sand, hashtag HeyJB. Do you think that WWE WrestleMania events this week will be a super spreader? As a reminder, WrestleMania, yeah, it's taking place at Raymond James Stadium this weekend, and there's still, of course, rising cases here in Hillsborough County. What do we say to Jaden here, Dr. Sand?
Here's the quick answer. I'm comfortable as long as people wear their masks and be safe and do all the right things. Because we saw Christmas vacation holidays, we thought it was going to be a massive surge. There wasn't. Super Bowl, we thought there was going to be a massive surge. I went to the Super Bowl parade with 1 million people there. There was not a surge. It was a little blip, then it came right back down for reasons that would take me longer than 10 seconds. I think it's going to be safe, but people need to wear their masks.
This is, again, if you want your question answered, hashtag Dr. Sand. This is pretty much it here. The last few questions we're going to be getting to. Masa, this one here from Cascade here with hashtag Dr. Sand.
If I have been fully vaccinated, will I test positive for antibodies on an antibody test?
The quick answer is usually. And the ones that don't, what we're seeing is because it's near 100% keep you from getting sick, there's something called another longer-term immunity called T cells, which protect. Those are not being measured right now. So the quick answer is you should, but if you're not, don't worry, you're still for the most part protected.
All right, this is it. Rapid fire here, folks. Let's get into these really quickly. Wanda, Bronner, hashtag HJB, how long do side effects last from the J&J shot?
Yeah, all these side effects, I would give it 12 to 24 hours at the most. You shouldn't be sick after 24 hours.
All right, next one, Bob Mort here, Masa, hashtag Dr. Sand.
Is the vaccine only good for 6 months? When do we have to get revaccinated, doctor?
Yeah, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody knows. Right now we know definitely 6, maybe even 9 months later after the trials, people are safe. We're hoping it may just be a once-a-year booster, or maybe like polio, where we eliminated disease with one shot. That's what we're really hoping. Great. But right now, let's assume it's going to be like influenza. We get a yearly shot.
Fascinating. Angela, hashtag HeyJB. I have heart problems. Also a real sick person. I'll be 65 this year. Is it okay for me to get the shot?
Yeah, not only is it okay, why haven't you gotten it by now? Yeah, absolutely. You want to be protected.
All right. And here's T Unthank. I'll take this one here, Masa. Hashtag Dr. San. I had the monoclonal antibodies 90 days ago. I have a choice between Moderna and J&J. I need guidance. JB, please help. So a choice between Moderna and J&J here for T.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you 90 days is still the rule with monoclonal. And the quick answer is talk to your primary doctor for the best advice. I'm going to tell you, get whatever you can. I wouldn't wait a week or two. You just want to get it as quick as possible. Maybe someday we will feel like going into the fast food place and you can order which one you want. We can get into that debate, but get what you can right now.
All right, I think this is going to be perhaps the last one that we take here. It's from Reagan Burns, hashtag HeyJB. What is the vaccine made out of? That's a very interesting question here, Dr. Sand.
Yeah, the first two vaccines are messenger RNAs, little snippet, if you will, a little piece of DNA, not DNA, it's actually RNA strand made up a genetic code that only does one thing. It makes the spiky protein and fools the body into thinking, oh, I got COVID, and it makes antibodies to protect you, sort of like a bug zapper. As soon as COVID enters the body, it zaps it like a bug zapper. You need that antibody response. That's what it does. It does not go into DNA. It goes into the plasma of the cell, does not interfere with your DNA. It's just a snippet of genetic code. The J&J and AstraZeneca, if that ever comes into the United States, those are carried on a dead virus, okay, the adenovirus or things like that. The way vaccines were always made in the past, it's still very safe, does not go in your DNA. So that's a very quick answer. You can Google or go to the CDC site for more information.
All right, folks. Thanks for everyone taking some of their time out of their day to ask Dr. Sand a question. Of course, thank you so much to Dr. Sand. We're going to kind of go around the horn here for some final thoughts here. But first, Dr. Sand, I know that you wanted to speak directly to our WFLA Now audience before we wrap things up here.
Yeah, a couple things, and I'll try to do it as quick as I can. Number one, these are very contagious. There's a contagious strain, the B117 from the UK probably, that's very contagious, 50, 60% more contagious. That is the predominant strain in the United States. That's the predominant strain in our Tampa Bay area. Very contagious. Wear your mask no matter what right now for these variants. The shots do protect against the variants. So far, they can easily get a booster to make, if not otherwise. You need to keep wearing your mask even if you've been vaccinated. You may still be contagious. And get your shot. Long haulers, just want to say a few words. It's not about the acute disease. The 20, 30% of people are having what we call long haul or long COVID. You feel suffocated. You can't breathe. You have chest pain. You have kidney disease. We're seeing people go on dialysis. You know about taste and smell? Up to 50% don't have taste and smell. You ever try to drink your wine and it tastes like water? You ever eat your steak and it tastes like rubber? That's what I'm hearing from my friends. I know a chef that doesn't have their taste and smell. That can actually be permanent or transient. Different people have different strokes for different folks, to put it bluntly. So I don't know about you. I like my taste and smell. So I don't want to lose those. Why would you not get the vaccine? Here's the main reason to get the vaccine. Let's get back to normal life. People, the number one thing I've seen on surveys is travel. People don't have destination bucket lists anymore. They just want to get out with their family and friends. You need that. And it will be a passport. I can tell you that. That vaccine will give you the freedom. The cruise lines will open back up. The airlines will open back up. The destinations will open back up. You want to travel with your family and friends, which I think most of us do. You want to go to sports events. You want to go to concerts. Get your shot. This is a life preserver to get you out of trouble and protect you.
What is life without being able to taste steak and wine? Dr. Sand here. Thank you. We really appreciate all of your time here to answer so many questions. There's been a lot of comments here in the Facebook Live comment section. Just thanking you so much for your time here today. I'm going to end out by just saying that, as a reminder, go to WFLA.com, the WFLA app. That's where all of our resources live as far as really good factual information out there regarding COVID-19 and the vaccine. There's so much misinformation out there on social media, and having credible sources of information is so important to make sure that we educate the community as to what's out there with the help of experts such as Dr. Sand and with the help of our incredible reporters here at WFLA News Channel 8. Masa Saidi has been working, of course, on a story that you're going to see tonight that's going to feature Dr. Sand. And Masa, this is something that our audience should really be tuning in for, again, about getting good, credible information out there.
Yeah, exactly. Here at Channel 8, we just want to give you all the information so you can make the choice, the best choice for your family. Our report tonight focuses on young people, and Dr. Sand is in our report. So if you liked what he had to say, please tune into our report. And I will say, JB, final thought. I just traveled back to college in science class, learning so much.
Yeah?
Can I say 10 seconds? Can I take a 10-second comment?
Yes, you can, sir.
10 seconds,
10
doctor.
seconds. $1 billion have been made on social media myths and lies. 1 billion. That's Lancet, journal Lancet, October, calculated $1 billion with lies because people making money. So go
Dr.
to
Sand,
reliable.
we want to end this on a positive note.
No, but you know what, though? But this is important. This is important.
No, listen, go to a reliable source, WFLA or CDC or Hillsborough County site for reliable information. Do not believe everything you read.
There's nothing more reliable than hearing from the experts, and for good, really reliable, good journalism that's out there. Masa and Charles Sand here, Dr. Charles Sand, are of course, your authority here as far as what you're going to see tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. Good information out there about the COVID-19 vaccine. Do not believe misinformation from non-reliable sources out there on social media or online, as Dr. Sand and I have talked about, Masa too. It's just chock full. It's a minefield out there of misinformation. So be sure to watch tonight on WFLA News Channel 8 at 6 o'clock for Masa's report featuring Dr. Sand. And, of course, we're going to have more here on WFLA Now, WFLA.com, and the WFLA app in the days and weeks ahead. Thanks so much for watching, folks. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.